fellow mourners, I would like to invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Sarah Kuongera Amadila, our Prime Minister, to deliver the statement of our founding president and father of the Namibian nation, Dr. Sam Safishuna Nujoma. Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kapofi, Co-Director of Ceremonies. Your Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, President of the Republic of Namibia, and Madame Mbumba, Madame Monica Geinkos, former First Lady, the children, and the entire Geingob family, Your Excellencies, Heads of States and Governments, current and retired, and all leaders of delegation, all protocol observed. I will read the tribute by His Excellency Dr. Sam Nujoma, founding president and father of the Namibian nation, on the occasion of the state funeral in honor of His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob, national hero and third president of the Republic of Namibia. It goes as follows. Your Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, President of the Republic of Namibia, and Madame Mbumba, First Lady, Madame Monica Geinkos, former First Lady, the children and the entire Geingob family, Your Excellency, Heads of State and Government, past and present, Your Excellency Dr. Hifike Punye Pohamba, former President, and Madame Pohamba, former First Lady, Your Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa, Vice President and retired Lieutenant General Ndaitwa, Her Royal Highness Princess Anne of the British Royal Family, members of the Diplomatic Corps and other foreign dignitaries, allow me to stand by the protocol already established. We are gathered here not only to bid farewell to His Excellency Dr. Hage G. Geingob, the third President of the Republic of Namibia, but also to celebrate his heroic life and acknowledge his immense contributions to the attainment of our country's independence and nation building. The sad news of his untimely passing struck a deep and solemn note when I received a call shortly after midnight on Sunday, the 4th of February, 2024, from His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, informing me that President Geingob is no more. The last time I spoke to the late President Hage Geingob was when he called me on a day before he went for medical treatment abroad. On that occasion, I wish him a quick recovery and renewed strength to continue leading our country to greater heights of economic development and prosperity. As the nation collectively grieves this profound loss of a loving husband to his dear wife and a caring father to his children, our thoughts and prayers are with the widow, Madame Monica Geinkos, former First Lady, the children, and the extended Geingob's family and clan at this difficult time. May you find solace in the knowledge that as a nation we share in your grief and join you in mourning our departed President Geingob. Fellow mourners, it is difficult to eulogize and vividly capture in words what makes a life and the essential truth of a person. However, having heard the many tributes that have been written over the past 3 weeks describing the late President Hage Geingob as a freedom fighter, a Pan-Africanist, and the chief architect of our Constitution and our governance architecture, I could not agree more with such description, as it is appropriate and fits him aptly. Indeed, it has been profoundly touching to witness how the news of his untimely passing united our nation in grief and sorrow. Similarly, the outpouring of love from all over the world is a testament to President Geingob's diplomacy of multilateralism when he said, "Namibia is a child of international solidarity and therefore a friend to all and an enemy to none." Against this background, the theme of this state funeral, which reads, "Inclusivity spells harmony, exclusivity spells conflict," is befitting as the late President Hage Geingob fervently advocated for our country's unity in diversity, reflecting our unique Namibian identity as opposed to our different ethnic identities, which he weaved together in a common tapestry through his mantra of the Namibian house, in which no one should feel left out. He will thus be remembered as a unifier because he embodied a politics that was not divisive, as he understood the immense power of unity and vehemently fought against tribalism. For those of us who knew him, those who worked alongside him, and those who loved him, it is unbearable that we will not see him again. We may have lost the commanding presence of a gentle giant and a roaring lion with the heart of a lamb, as well as the heavy accented tone of a towering figure, but his spirit will live on in the countless men and women that he mentored and trained over the years. Fellow mourners, the first time I met the late President Hage Geingob was at Leopoldville, Kinshasa in the Congo, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, when he joined us in exile in 1963 through Botswana, where he spent some time in a refugee camp before he left for the United States of America in 1964 to study at Temple University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, when he was granted a scholarship. Subsequently, he obtained a BA degree in political science from Fordham University in New York in 1970 and a master's in international relations at the New School for Social Research in 1974. I appointed him as SWAPO representative at the United Nations and to the Americas when he was still a student, together with the late comrades Theo Ben Gurirab and Hidipo Hamtenya. Being a representative, he lobbied hard for the UN General Assembly's resolution 2145 of 27th of October 1966 to terminate the mandate of South Africa over Namibia and reaffirm our people's inalienable right to self-determination, freedom, and independence. On my recommendation, the late President Hage Geingob was appointed director at the United Nations Institute for Namibia, UNIN, an educational body set up by the United Nations Council for Namibia in Lusaka, Zambia, on 26th of August 1976 to educate Namibians for roles in an independent Namibia. In 1989, he was appointed by the SWAPO Central Committee to lead the SWAPO election campaign as director, and I handed to him the SWAPO flag during the implementation of the UN General Assembly's Resolution 435. In September 1989, after nearly 30 years in exile, when I returned to Namibia, I was received by the late President Hage Geingob in Windhoek. I recall that when I stepped down from the plane, he held high the same SWAPO flag I had handed to him on 18th June 1989 and handed it back to me. After SWAPO's historic landslide victory in the 1989 UN supervised elections, the Constituent Assembly elected Comrade Hage Geingob as its chairman. His task was not only to conduct the proceedings, but also to build confidence between diverse parties and previously warring enemies. He showed us painstakingly that he was a skillful negotiator who was not afraid to seek for compromises for the sake of a bigger goal. Because of this, he was highly praised for his skillful handling of debates, which proved instrumental in ensuring that our country's supreme law was drafted in a record time of only 3 months and unanimously adopted on the 9th of February 1990. I then appointed Comrade Geingob as our country's first Prime Minister to oversee the restructuring of the public service that was fragmented along racial and ethnic lines, and to put up the new governance architecture of an independent Namibia. He executed his role with diligence and with dedication. I was therefore not surprised when he was elected as Vice President of SWAPO Party, and eventually the 3rd President of the SWAPO Party and of the Republic of Namibia. At this juncture, allow me to applaud the Namibian people for their calmness during the mourning period and for a seamless and peaceful transition of power. This is an indication that our democracy has matured and our state is stable because we have sound processes, systems, and institutions in place as envisioned by the late President Hage Geingob. In this regard, allow me to wholeheartedly convey good wishes to His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba for being sworn in as the 4th President of the Republic of Namibia when he filled the vacant post for the remainder of the term of office of the late President Hage Geingob in accordance with the provisions of the Namibian Constitution. In the same vein, allow me to extend my well wishes to Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah for her appointment as the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia. Fellow mourners, in according a hero's funeral to the late President Hage Geingob, we are giving a richly deserved recognition to a national hero and 3rd President of the Republic of Namibia as a recipient of many international awards, including the Jose Marti Order, which will be conferred on him posthumously by our Cuban friends and comrades in arms with whom we shared trenches together with the Angolan FAPLA forces until the final historic battle of Quito Cuanavale. The late President Hage Geingob is also a recipient of Namibia's highest award when he was conferred the most ancient order of the Welwitschia Mirabilis, and thus he deservedly enters the pantheon of Namibia's heroes and heroines. We will miss his towering presence in the corridors of the UN, the AU, and the SADC headquarters and summits, as well as at State House. But let me say to the young people of our country and Africa at large that they too can make his life's work their own. The late President Hage Geingob hails from humble beginnings, and the white minority colonial regime of South Africa thought that he will live a life of servitude because he was a child of farm laborers. However, life had a different destiny for him to endure a life of service, but not to any master other than to the struggling masses of the Namibian people, and he rose through the ranks to the highest office in the land of the brave. Looking at the scope of his accomplishments and the admiration that he so rightly earned, he has shown us that he earned his place in history through struggle and unrelenting spirit, and that is why we learned so much from him, and we can still learn from him. He taught us the importance of reason and arguments and the need to study not only those you agree with, but also those you do not agree with. As he used to say, you do not make peace with your friends, but with your enemies. In addition, he demonstrated that action and ideas are not enough, no matter how right. They must be molded into processes, systems, and institutions. Furthermore, he always demanded the best from everyone around him. In summary, he was very attentive, teachable, and a very consultative person who placed great emphasis on dialogue. Above all, being truthful was very important to him. As we bid the late President Hage Geingob a fond farewell at the end of his earthly journey, and when we have rejoined our daily routines, let us reflect on his distinguished career and what we can learn from him to ensure that the legacy he leaves behind has grown deep roots like the marula tree and good shade for future generations. On behalf of the veterans of our national liberation struggle, the Nujoma family, and indeed on my own behalf, allow me to convey our deepest condolences and heartfelt sympathies to Madam Monica Geingob, the former First Lady, the children, the extended Geingob's family, and the entire nation for this profound loss. As we walk through this dark cloud hovering around our nation, may we all be granted fortitude to overcome this bereavement and be left only with the most cherished memories of our departed, beloved, late President Dr. Hage Gonfrid Geingob. May his legacy illuminate our path as we chart the future destiny of our country to greater economic development and prosperity. May his soul rest in eternal peace. So ends the statement of His Excellency, the Founding Father